Hi, this is Jim Pedersen with the Social Capital Agency. We're here today in our ongoing series of conversations with marketing professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs in an effort to help other marketing professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs. Joining us today is Sharon Ladd. She is the owner and publisher of Bonnie Brea Magazine, and she's here to talk to us today about hyper-local marketing. So, Sharon, why don't you tell us, thank you first of all for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking me.
Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Bonnie Brea Magazine and its kind of the overall organization of N2Publishing?
Okay, let me start with that if I may. The overall cap on my company, it started about 14 years ago by two gentlemen. And they went to a very difficult demographic, and that being the affluent demographic. And they came up with this concept of having people buy their own magazine within that neighborhood. We're kind of like the gatekeepers of the neighborhood. So we actually get to know the residents, we get to know the merchants, and our whole concept is to bring the resident and the merchants together. And basically that's how they started. They wanted us to go and seek businesses, purchase merchants that really do word of mouth. So it's a really interacting. It's not just print media. Their concept was also to have the neighborhoods, the old neighborhoods, come back into the communities like they used to be. So, and by doing that, and we're in control of our residents and events and parties and meeting people, it's kind of left up to us to have that interaction and networking going on.
Right, and when so much marketing revolves around kind of the reaching the masses, you're really talking about reaching a very small segment. I mean, your area, your publishing area is what, 1 to 2 square miles, right?
It is. Each neighborhood, we go by the count of the homes. My particular neighborhood has about 750 homes. It is honed in to a very target audience. So people that live in this community, they want to read about themselves. They want to have pictures about them. So that's why it's really important for me to go out and seek new merchants to come in and give support to the magazine. If they can do the same, if they can give support to my residents, then it would be a good fit, a good match. But it is a very target audience.
Right, it's really bringing the concept of community back to the community, which has been missing for so long. With
everybody lives on the phone, and
the
garage door goes up and it goes down. You don't even know your neighbors.
Right.
We put people, family members, on the front of the magazines, and more than not, people who say, "Oh my gosh, you're my neighbor," and they literally lived right next door to each other, but they didn't even know each other. Right. So it's really interesting to find out.
And tell us a little more about the events that you guys do, because I mean that goes above and beyond most traditional print publications that are just having ads and having readers. You're actually making an effort to bring these groups together.
Absolutely.
How does that work out?
It started with the concept, they called it the restaurant review. We would go to restaurants and we would ask them if they would mind hosting a party of anywhere from 40 to 50 people. And by doing that, we would send the invitations out to our residents and to our merchants. So it's nice to see an ad that you see it, on a monthly basis, but to actually shake their hand and look at them in the eyes and say, "Oh my God, explain a little bit more of what you do." So we do a social event of that nature, of just bringing people together. We also do a concept of doing like business to business. And if there's a situation, say for instance, a doctor, if they want to come and talk about specifically the eye doctor or whatever, we'll have a business to business meeting, and we'll bring and invite our residents in there so they can learn a little bit more and be educated a little bit more about topics they might want to know about. Right. So it's really a good concept.
Yeah, and you're bringing value to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and your insights were great, and I think it's going to be really valuable to our viewers. And please check back again often for other interviews and conversations with these insightful thought leaders. Thank you.